Okay, so welcome to the three-part video series on Bernoulli trials. Part 1, this video is going to be some simple examples. The next video, part 2, I'm going to look at examples that have at least and at most in them. You might recognize questions like that. And then the last part, part 3, is going to be questions where it wants exactly or experiments to happen. Okay, so just another type of question that we have. So a little bit about Bernoulli trials. This is the formula, maybe you recognize it. This is n choose or times p to the power of or times q to the power of n minus or. Now, I'm not going to use the formula as such. I'm going to show you a way to just reason out and talk yourself through the question, and in that way you actually make the formula without having to remember all of these things. But if you prefer to use the formula, you absolutely can. So n is the number of trials, or is the number of successes, p is the probability of success, and q is the probability of failure. So in my first example here, it says 1 in 8 people are left-handed. Find the probability that exactly 7 students in a class of 25 are left-handed. So instead of going and seeing what is n or p or q, what I do is the following. So I look at, well, what do I want? I want 7 students to be left-handed. Okay, so what's the probability of being left-handed? The probability of being left-handed is 1 in 8. Now, I want 7 students to be left-handed. So I'm going to put that to the power of 7. Then I want the rest of the students to be right-handed. So what's the probability of being right-handed? Well, it's 7 over 8. How many students do I want to be right-handed? 25 take 7 is 18. 18 students are going to be right-handed. Now, how many ways can this happen? Well, this can happen 25 choose 7 ways. And as you can see, I've made basically the formula here. So n is 25, or is 7, p is 1 over 8, or again is 7, q is 7 over 8, and n minus or is 18. So if you prefer, you can just write down the formula and write down each of these and fill them in, but this is more of a way of reasoning it out. So what's that equal to? We get our calculator. So 25 choose 7. I'm going to put that in brackets because I'm multiplying everything, times 1 over 8. And that's to the power of 7. And then times 7 over 8. And that to the power of 18 equals, and we get 0.0207. So that's approximately equal to 2%. So the probability of getting, picking 7 students in a class, the probability of 7 students in a class being left-handed is around about 2%. Okay, let's have a look at another example here. So example 2, the probability that Joe will score a penalty kick is 0.89. If Joe takes 12 penalties in a season, find the probability that he will score exactly 10 times. Okay, so what do we want? We want him to score. What's the probability of scoring? The probability of scoring is 0.89. How many times do we want him to score? We want him to score 10 times. Now, if he scores 10 times, then he has to miss as well. So what's the probability of him missing? 0.11. How many times do we want him to miss? We want him to miss 12 take away 10 is 2. And how many ways can this happen? Well, he's taken 12 penalties. He's scoring exactly 10 times. So that is 12 choose 10 ways. Okay, and that's what you put in to your calculator there. So it's, if you can see that there, 12 choose 10. Just pop it into brackets, and that will be times 0.89 to the power of 10, and that's times 0.11 to the power of 2 equals 0.249, okay, which is approximately equal to 24.9%. So if he has a 0.89 chance of scoring a penalty, the probability that he'll score exactly 10 times is 24.9%. And let's just take this back to the formula just to match it up. So the formula is n choose or times the probability of p to the power of or times the probability of q to the power of n minus or. So in this case, n was 12, or was 10, p was 0.89, and q was 0.11. So you can use the formula if you like. I just prefer to reason through the question and build it like that, kind of organically. Okay, so that's part 1 of this series. Tune in for part 2, which will be at least and at most questions. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next video.